Have you ever wondered how a single generation transformed a small community into one of the most admired civilizations in history without abandoning its principles of faith, justice, and compassion? What Islam's 1,400-year history says about the golden era of the Rashidun Caliphate is not merely a story of expanding borders or remarkable victories. It is the story of ordinary believers who became extraordinary leaders because they placed obedience to Allah above personal ambition and service to humanity above worldly gain. After the passing of Prophet Muhammad, the Muslim community faced one of the greatest moments of uncertainty it had ever known. The loss of the beloved messenger could have divided hearts, weakened faith, and destroyed the unity that had been built through years of sacrifice. Instead, the companions demonstrated remarkable patience, wisdom, and trust in Allah. Abu Bakr As-Siddiq, R.A., known for his unwavering faith and sincere devotion, accepted the immense responsibility of leading the Ummah with humility rather than pride. His famous reminder that Muhammad was the messenger of Allah, while Allah alone lives forever, redirected grieving hearts toward eternal truth instead of temporary sorrow. That powerful moment became the foundation upon which the Rashidun Caliphate was established. It proved that Islam was never dependent upon one individual after the completion of the Prophet's mission, but upon obedience to Allah and commitment to his guidance. The early Muslim community united around these principles and refused to allow fear or confusion to overcome their faith. During this remarkable period, leadership was viewed as a sacred trust rather than a privilege. Every decision was measured against the teachings of the Quran and the authentic example of the Prophet. Justice was extended to the rich and the poor alike, while honesty became the standard expected from every leader and every citizen. The treasury was protected with exceptional care because its wealth belonged to the people, not to those entrusted with authority. Compassion toward widows, orphans, travelers, and the needy reflected the true spirit of Islamic governance. Consultation among knowledgeable companions ensured that important decisions were never driven by personal desire, but by collective wisdom rooted in revelation. This extraordinary balance between spiritual devotion and practical leadership inspired confidence throughout the rapidly growing Muslim community. As the challenges facing the Ummah continued to increase, the first caliph remained steadfast against internal rebellions and efforts to weaken Islam. His courage demonstrated that preserving unity sometimes required difficult decisions guided by justice rather than emotion. Every challenge strengthened the believers' determination to protect their faith and preserve the message entrusted to them. What Islam's 1,400-year history says about this golden era is that greatness does not begin with powerful armies, magnificent cities, or overflowing treasures. It begins with sincere hearts devoted to truth, leaders who fear Allah more than they seek authority, and communities willing to sacrifice personal comfort for the common good. Those timeless values became the unshakable foundation upon which one of history's greatest civilizations would soon rise, preparing the Muslim Ummah for achievements that would astonish the world and leave a legacy that continues to inspire millions across generations. As the Rashidun Caliphate grew stronger, the world witnessed a transformation that few could have imagined. What Islam's 1,400-year history says about this remarkable period is that true strength is measured not by the size of an empire, but by the character of the people who lead it. Under the leadership of Umar ibn Al-Khattab, R.A., the Islamic State expanded across vast regions. Yet every new victory carried an even greater responsibility. Conquered lands were not viewed as prizes to enrich rulers, but as trusts that required justice, security, and compassion. Courts were established where every individual, regardless of wealth, tribe, or background, could seek justice. Governors were carefully selected for their integrity and reminded that they were servants of the people rather than masters over them. Public funds were protected with extraordinary honesty, and systems were developed to provide support for widows, orphans, the poor, travelers, and those unable to care for themselves. Roads were improved, cities were organized, and administrative institutions were strengthened so that every region could benefit from orderly governance rooted in the teachings of Islam. The preservation of peace within the expanding Muslim community became just as important as success on distant frontiers. Later, during the Caliphate of Uthman ibn Affan, another historic achievement secured the future of Islam for generations to come. Recognizing the importance of preserving the Quran in its authentic form as Islam spread among diverse peoples and languages, he oversaw the careful compilation and distribution of standardized copies of the Holy Quran. This extraordinary effort protected the divine revelation from alteration and ensured that Muslims across the growing Islamic world recited the same sacred words revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Yet, as prosperity increased and the Muslim world expanded, new trials quietly emerged beneath the surface. Success brought not only admiration, but also envy, misinformation, and hidden divisions created by those who wished to weaken the unity of the believers. Rumors spread through distant provinces, false accusations were repeated, and individuals with harmful intentions attempted to exploit differences for personal gain. The peace that had been built through sacrifice and sincerity now faced an unexpected challenge from within rather than from outside enemies. The greatest danger no longer appeared on distant battlefields, but in hearts tempted by pride, misunderstanding, and deception. This moment became one of the most significant tests in Islamic history, because preserving unity required greater wisdom than achieving military victory. Every believer was reminded that faith demanded patience during hardship as much as gratitude during success. The foundations established by the Rashidun Caliphs had always rested upon justice, consultation, humility, and unwavering trust in Allah. Yet those very principles would soon face their most difficult examination. The future of the Muslim Ummah depended not only upon courageous leaders, but also upon ordinary believers remaining faithful to the values that had transformed a small community into a civilization admired throughout the world. The next chapter would reveal whether those timeless principles could endure the weight of internal trials, and whether the legacy of the rightly guided caliphs would continue to illuminate the path for generations yet to come. The final chapter of the Rashidun Caliphate reminds us that every great civilization is tested not only by external challenges, but also by the strength of its faith and character during moments of internal difficulty. What Islam's 1,400-year history says about this extraordinary era is that lasting greatness is never measured by uninterrupted success, but by the ability to remain steadfast upon truth when trials become overwhelming. During the Caliphate of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Muslim Ummah experienced some of the most complex and painful circumstances in its early history. Differences emerged, misunderstandings spread, and events unfolded that deeply affected the unity of the believers. Yet throughout these hardships, Ali, remained committed to justice, knowledge, courage, and devotion to Allah. He sought to guide the community with wisdom, reminding Muslims that every decision should be rooted in sincerity and obedience to the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad. Although this period was marked by difficult tests, the legacy of the Rashidun Caliphate was never defined solely by its challenges. Instead, it became a timeless example of how sincere leadership, humility, consultation, accountability, and unwavering faith can shape the destiny of an entire civilization. The Four Rightly Guided Caliphs demonstrated that leadership is a trust given by Allah, not a means of personal glory or worldly power. They lived simple lives despite governing a rapidly expanding state, placing the welfare of the people above their own comfort and remaining accountable before Allah for every responsibility entrusted to them. Their examples continue to inspire scholars, leaders, and ordinary believers because they proved that justice without compassion becomes harsh, while compassion without justice becomes weak. They showed that knowledge must be accompanied by action, that authority must always remain connected to humility, and that unity is preserved through sincerity rather than force. More than 14 centuries have passed, yet the principles established during this remarkable period continue to guide millions of Muslims across every continent. The preservation of the Holy Quran, the establishment of fair governance, the protection of public wealth, the care of the vulnerable, and the commitment to consultation remain enduring lessons for every generation. Modern societies often search for solutions to corruption, injustice, division, and leadership failures. But the golden era of the Rashidun Caliphate reminds us that genuine reform begins within the human heart before it transforms nations. Every believer can learn from the courage of Abu Bakr, R.A., the justice of Umar, R.A., the generosity and dedication of Uthman, R.A., and the wisdom and perseverance of Ali, R.A. Their lives teach us that true success is not found in wealth, fame, or military strength, but in unwavering faith, honest character, sincere service, and complete trust in Allah. These timeless values continue to shine across Islam's 1,400-year history, proving that civilizations rise through righteousness and endure through integrity. Their legacy is not confined to the pages of history, but remains a living source of guidance for anyone seeking purpose, unity, and moral excellence in every generation. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.